Hello, everyone. I'm Renown Zero, and today we're going to be talking about this conversation that's been happening over on X, formerly known as Twitter, that seems to be causing a big uproar between quite a few people in the indie scene. So we're going to go over everything today. As always, we're going to start by showing off the Alpha Core campaign ending on January 20th, 2024. Over 20,000 books sold, very, very close, just under, I would say, 25K until 1.2 million as of the recording of this video. Over 12,000 total purchasers. Get in where you fit in. You can always hit up the Rippaverse store as well and get your different items. I know Vito tried to say there was a fire sale. Like, dude, the items you were showing off have always been on sale for quite a bit. So that's not new news. You're trying to use it as a gotcha. It's not going to work. Showing off Blade Devil 2 as always. It's a campaign I'm very passionate about. I backed all 4 covers after enjoying Blade Devil 1. If you're looking to get Blade Devil 1, you can always come to this campaign. Sick Fox Studios Unlimited. Get your covers A, B, or C for just $10. Back over to Blade Devil 2. Get your different covers. Cover A, cover B, cover C. Also the summer limited wraparound. You get 69 pages of story. Some of the artwork you'll see in the book, with 2 supplemental stories that'll be one here and one here. You get different trading cards. You get this card with cover A. You get that to cover B. You get this card, cover C. You get this card. Your limited summer wraparound cover. You do get this card, and you get this card if you backed after you signed up for the pre-launch and backed the physical perk. You will get this card as well. So now we're going to move over to this right here. Coming to us from Rippaverse Gold Post, the scenario being you create a comic book. A bunch of comic creators promote your book without you asking. They all expect you to promote their books now. Are you obligated to promote them? No. In my opinion, the answer is no. You are never obligated to promote anyone. Although it's nice when people promote your stuff and talk about your stuff, your YouTube channels, your comics, whatever you got going on. It's always nice to get promotion from people that, yes, that are larger in size than you are as far as YouTube presence, Twitter presence, and et cetera, et cetera. But no one is ever obligated to do so. And there is no moral obligation. Well, we're going to go through what everyone has been talking about that I've seen so far. There are probably other people that are talking about it that I'm not going to mention here, but we'll go through it. You got John Douglas saying, it's a professional courtesy, I'd say, but as a creator, I expect no one to help me and give of myself freely to whom I decide, right? Saying that it's a courtesy, but never required. It's not, you're not obligated at all. We got Professor Hayteen saying, no, nobody is under any obligation to do anything in any situations. Just like if I get a comic from someone, I am under no obligation to review it positively or negatively, right? Absolutely not, says Hail the Lord. No one is obligated to do anything for anyone. No, you didn't enter into a mutual agreement or contract for that type of exchange in service or promotion. Well, quote, obligated to promote. The answer is simple. Of course not. That said, it is a generally nice thing to do to return the favor. However, I'd argue that no one should expect someone to promote their stuff unless they are obligated, i.e., there's an agreement. I would say so. If you're interested in creating a parallel economy, then yes. That doesn't mean you have to promote everybody, but when people go out of their way to help you and you can't be bothered to help others in turn, it says you're not really into the idea of a parallel economy. So this is a whole thing that came up. Literature Double here responds by saying we're in the most hated part of the indie sphere because we also oppose the mainstream current agenda. Is there an obligation to promote others who promoted you? No, not technically. But if we're all fighting the same battle, why wouldn't you? Allies and friends support each other. CG supports each other and has lasted years. Beyond that, helping your fellow man where feasible is always a good investment. The problem occurs where people like to dogpile on certain people, like Eric July, and maybe a few others, because I know Tyler, who created things like The Girl with the Mega Fist, Super Plumber Sisters, things of that nature, is also being kind of hounded on for not putting in their obligation to promote other people, because again, in my opinion, you're never obligated to promote anyone. You choose not to. However, there was a conversation going on between Eric July and Backfire Comics, to which it's a response to what you know, literature devil said, if I could offer some perspective and advice for people on this topic, as I think it's helpful for aspiring businessmen. This will apply no matter if you're selling comics or pancakes. Never ever ask for, wait, or expect people to put you on / promote you. This shouldn't be in the back of your mind. It should never be something you think about. Waiting on someone else is only going to frustrate you. This especially applies if you do get promoted and it doesn't translate to the sales you hoped. Let promotion by others happen organically, big or small. Don't wait or expect it. Keep working and build relationships, and you'll put yourself on people's radar. Genuine enthusiasm is what you want, and that makes for better promotion, as those people are actually more interested in your product, which means they truly can sell it. They will be far more thorough. That's sell well. That sell will be far better than someone just pays lip service to it. Your success is ultimately on you. Yes, it is actually ultimately on you, right? So there was a back and forth after that was being said between, like I said, Eric July and Backfire Comics. By the way, I'm just reading tweets. If there's something incorrect that I read, I'm just reading the tweets. This guy, Backfire Comics, says that the guy that top YouTubers and media outlets have gone out of their way to promote and launch now thinks he did it all, quote, organically and offers no reciprocation, and thinks you should do the same. What are you talking about? None of your advice applies to you. People lined up to promote you. It was you that they wanted to promote, not your product, precisely because you are part of an alternative media clique. You've siphoned an audience from many others. Reciprocity is not unreasonable. So you ignore the fact that he's been building a YouTube channel for 18 years, which is what most people do. So they think he's in this position that he is undeserving of the support that he receives. How does none of the advice apply to me? Did you actually read this post? I don't know where you're going on about reciprocity. Your main focus should be building your own audience, not trying to grab people from others. Now, people will gravitate towards other people. Yes, people will promote others that they like, but that doesn't mean people are essentially going to gravitate towards them right away or even at all. Not applicable to you. You were promoted by mainstream right-wing media, alternative media YouTubers, and CG. You grabbed buyers from all the above. See, the thing is, he had $1 million before he was even talked about on the mainstream, aka Fox News. And same thing with the Blaze. The Blaze really didn't promote him until it was close to like at $1 million, dude. To say this is not applicable is to completely ignore the fact that I built a following over the last 18 years, which is something I did say. You still think you only sold comics to your audience? That's simply false. You also sold books to customers thanks to the promotion of other media figures. It took both to drive your initial success. You said it wasn't applicable. That's a lie. I focused on building and have done it in the public sphere for 18 years. That's a specific point I'm addressing. I didn't get 300K to get this thing off the ground as some loan. I'm not saying you didn't. Stop reframing. I'm saying you sold your products well beyond your audience with the aid of others. That's simply a fact. And that's called success. So it's a long conversation. I'm not going to go through every single thing that was said back and forth. The gist of it is the person believes that they didn't organically grow, like they haven't been grinding and on their craft for many years. So I'm not essentially going to go through all this. It's way too much to go through. But we had some other people chime in on this stuff, like Ethan Van Sciver saying we aren't big corporations, we're small players trying to compete with the power of a mainstream that holds all the cards except for our support of each other. Without that, there's no parallel economy. To which A Drink with Crazy says this conversation went so far away from its source of origin. At least when I saw it pop off this morning, it was about people expecting other people to promote them. You should earn your right to be promoted, not expect a handout, which is 100% correct. Sheepsidian saying, and even then, there's no promise of promotion simply because you're cool with someone. The goal is to build rapport, build trust, and dole out respect you would like in return. If the sentiments aren't reciprocated, there is no love lost. You simply, Charlie Mike, it's just as okay for your best friend to not promote your projects at the drop of a hat as it is for a complete John Doe to buy everything you release. It's correct. Which, of course, Ethan responds, there's a difference between expecting a handout as a creator and outright refusing any help to your peers. Everyone can refuse to help their peers outright. It is their right to do so, and no one should ever expect a handout either. We're competitors only in the mildest sense. Our actual competition is the awful messaging of the woke mainstream and its refusal to support indie creators who oppose it. Those talented indie creators are brave and deserve to be elevated by those of us with the means to do so. That is our obligation to the fans and each other, especially when it doesn't benefit us in any other way. So, for you, Ethan, it's the same thing I say to Vito. Your obligation should be to get your books out on time. Stop waiting years to put your books out. I waited 2+ years to receive Cyberfrog 2, and so many others have done the same. People over the years are going to get sick of this model where it's going to take years to essentially read a story. And people aren't going to be alive long enough to read an entire story because you take so long. I'll give you credit. At least you've put out books, unlike Vito, who hasn't put out a single book yet. Hashtag win is superkiller. To which he responds, right here, even then, nobody owes you anything. Thanks for watching the show, though. Right? Where's the next thing here? Okay, here. So he says, when you put a YouTube video out, you tell your viewers, quote, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Why obligate them in this way? An obligation means that you're requiring them to do that. When you're saying, please like, subscribe, and share, like I do in my videos, you're simply asking someone to do so. No one is obligated to do any of those things. Nobody owes you that. You just shouldn't even ask. And your viewers definitely shouldn't share your videos, I guess. This is completely irrelevant because you're asking someone to do this. You're not saying you must do this. That's what an obligation is, saying it's a requirement. No one is required to like your videos. No one is required to subscribe. No one is required to share your videos. Although you nicely ask them to do these things in hopes that they will do it. You're at least showing respect to your audience. We got Richard Embry. So that's what we're doing today. Bootlickers out here defending the, quote, not supporting others argument. Jalda, Mr. Pancake Jeff himself. I don't know what any of that means. The whole creators should help other creators argument. It's great because you can look and see what creators are selfish. Again, creators are allowed to be selfish. Again, no one is obligated to promote your stuff, in my opinion. If you can't be out there yourself to market your own product, there's something wrong with your ability to market a product. You shouldn't be constantly relying on other people, which is crazy for you to say because considering you constantly tag the big dogs, as you call them, like Ethan, Billy Tucci, Shane Davis, John Malin, to promote your book, but they're not obligated to promote your book no matter how many times you tag them. So, in your post, Eric, you admit that exposure does help, but you feel so strongly that people shouldn't ask for promotion that you felt the need to go with caps for the ever. No one should really ask for promotion. How specifically does organic growth happen if it doesn't involve polite requests? To which he responds, asking for promotion is not the only way to get promotion. Organic means that someone will do this on their own accord. This is why you should focus on having the best product you can. If people are interested, they'll naturally gravitate towards it. As an example, for the last 18 years, I've never asked or demanded to be promoted by other people. Every show you've seen me on or website/article coverage of any of my projects never came from a request. Hell, Nerdrotics and Heel vs. Babyface won't even let me give them stuff for free. When you see them rocking an ISOM shirt or something, it's not because I requested that they do that. That's the honest, genuine support you want. It's not insincere. Meaning he doesn't pay, he doesn't ask them to do these things. They do it on their own. They promote their stuff by wearing the shirts, kind of like I do in some videos when I wear the Ripperverse shirts. I choose to do that. No one's telling me I should do that. No one's asking me to do that. I'm doing that on my own accord. Which brings me to Tyler, right? I do own Super Plumber Scissors. It's a great read, and I can't wait for number 2. I've also backed Bullet Assassin in the Fantasy World. Number 1, can't wait to get it. What is everyone's thoughts on this? I never like it when people make it sound like you have an obligation to promote others. There are obviously pros to promoting others, but there are also tons of cons that could hurt the creator. Regardless, everyone is entitled to their opinion, which is what I said. Creators should promote creators. At least that's how things should go. That's your opinion. And of course, we have Vito, right? All artists have a moral obligation to assist other artists. Anyone who focuses solely on their own success while making no effort to lift up others is a genuinely bad person. No, that does not make them a genuinely bad person. If someone wants to focus on their own stuff, which is something you're not doing, which is why I always say hashtag win is super killer, you can do that. You can go and focus on your own stuff, which is what Tyler does for the most part, which is why I have a book in my hand from him and no one has a book in their hand from you, Vito, because you're not focusing on the right things. You said this, right? You said all artists have a moral obligation to help elevate and promote other artists, right? And then you're going to even quote tweet that further and say, it's genuinely insane how many people read this statement as, quote, you should promote every single artist. It's baffling how bad reading comprehension has gotten. Some of you people genuinely need to read more books. Well, for you to say all artists have a moral obligation, we should probably take a look at what that means, right? An obligation, legal or moral requirement to take a certain course of action. As an obligation is a course of action that someone is required to take, whether legal or moral. So you're saying that it is an obligation that all artists should have, right? Meaning you're saying that it is required of all artists to help elevate and promote other artists. And you wonder why you say people have bad reading comprehension. Meanwhile, you're using a word and they're not understanding what this word means. It's like you didn't do research of this word's definition before you used it. Just stop. And of course, he also had Mr. Dickie Masterson had to put his own word in, even though he says comics are for losers and wants to destroy a man's business because of bad art. Right? Yet all you do is sit on a podcast and talk shit. Art and culture are built by a community. If you're not naturally engaging with the community, then you're not creating art. You're just selling 3D rendered clip art to pay pigs and suckers. We're back to this pay pigs and suckers thing. Meanwhile, you're just mad because Eric July humiliated your weak soy ass on Flashcast, and you still can't cope with the fact that you got to call a certain word, and you still cry about it to this day. Because you are a nothing. Your whole career, quote unquote, is a nothing burger. You got famous off being on Dr. Phil. That's nothing to be proud of. That's basically putting you up there with the Catch Me Outside girl. Meanwhile, she makes more money than you do. She's most likely made more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. So, and of course we have, Ethan, of course, making up more campaigns, right? As he hasn't fulfilled previous ones. You keep making new ones, and then you wonder why people keep on wanting to refund stuff, wanting to no longer support you, because you continue to build more campaigns as you haven't fulfilled previous ones. So, at the end of the day, no one is obligated to promote your stuff. You are your best marketer. You are your best promoter. You are the one that knows how to market and promote your stuff the best, better than anyone out there. And if you aren't willing to put in the work to promote and market your own stuff, why would anybody organically want to promote and market your stuff? I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Become a member at the channel if you'd like to support further. You are never obligated to do so, but it really does help me grow on YouTube. So you can join for $1 a month. There's a join button down below. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all notifications. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video or live stream. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.